Godzilla is now in New York City.
Monster 01 and 02, commence the attack.
Listeners, and welcome back to another bonus episode of Stomp This Way. Recording these rapid fire nowadays.
Oh yeah.
Just kidding. But today we are doing something a little bit special. We're going back and reviewing Ultraman Zearth, the parody film produced by Subaraya of Ultraman.
Yes.
I use the term film loosely. It's 50 minutes. I mean, like 45 if you take out credits. So, I mean...
It's a short film.
Short film, I guess. But here we are. We're going to review it. It was released in celebration of Ultraman's 30th anniversary. So right now with Mebius, we're celebrating his 40th anniversary. So we're going back in time 10 years. But we're getting to it. That's all that matters, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so, we skipped it the first time around. Because, like I said, I just... didn't deem it important enough, I guess. I don't think the first time I looked for it, I don't think it was on YouTube, posted on YouTube yet. But yeah, since we have a bit of a break between this movie we just watched, the Mebius movie, and the next Ultraman movie, we thought we would fill in some gaps with Ultraman Zearth. So here we are. This film was released on March 9th of 1996. I assume it was probably a made-for-TV movie. I doubt it got a theatrical release.
Probably not.
Yeah, probably not. But anyway, we're going to listen to the trailer. Then we're going to come back, read off the cast and crew, read off the plot summary, and we'll discuss our thoughts on Ultraman Zearth. See you in a bit. Alright, we're back. This film is directed by Shinya Nakajima and Kanoka Kazuya, written by Nagasaka Hideka and Kazunori Saito, music by James Shimoji, and starring Masuharu Sekiguchi, Takaki Ishibashi, Kinashi Noritake, Takaoka Okubo, Koji Moritsugu, and Miyagawa Ichirota. Yeah. And the plot is as follows, sort of. This movie doesn't really have much of a plot. But when the evil alien Benzine and his puppet Koten Pope come to Earth, it's up to Mydo, that's M-Y-D-O. What is it saying for, Andrew?
Mysterious Yonder something.
Look it up again. What did it say? It's up to Mydo to stop them. But despite their best efforts, they are powerless against the invaders. Unbeknownst to the team of monster fighters, their newest recruit, Katsudo, is actually Ultraman Zearth, but his crippling fear of dirt is preventing him from transforming.
I got it.
What is it?
Mysterious Yonder Defense Force.
Okay, there we go. But when the aliens take the female member of the team Toru, Katsudo finds the strength within himself to transform into Zearth and face the two space monsters. Benzene tries to trick Zearth into using his Speciu Shula beam that would result in an explosion that would destroy Earth, but Mido warns Zearth in time, and Zearth fights the monsters hand to hand. He eventually beats them and takes them into space, where he destroys Koten Pope with his beam as Benzene drifts off towards the stars. Katsudo is reunited with his team and resumes work at the gas station that they operate out of. As credits roll. Is that more or less accurate?
Yes.
Yeah, so, I didn't know much about this movie going into it. I just knew that it was a parody film. I knew there were 2 of them. But, what does it start out with? It starts out with a celebration. I guess does this take place within, like, the universe, the Ultra Showa era universe? I mean, I don't think it's made explicitly clear. Like I said, it's a parody movie. I guess it doesn't really matter. But they're holding some kind of celebration for Ultraman where they're erecting a golden statue of him. And the golden statue gets, they're singing the theme song and everything. And then the golden statue gets taken underground. And then Mido has to investigate. And this Mido team works out of a gas station. They're like gas station attendants by day. And then monster hunters, I guess also by day. But and it's established really early that there's a recruit, I guess. I think his name is Katsudo, and he is bullied by the guys on the team.
Because he's a clean freak.
And he's a clean freak. He doesn't like dirt.
No.
At all. But, Toru is nice to him, and he has a crush on her and whatever. But, they go and investigate, and, I don't know, they figure out, I guess, that, there's an alien, a monster underground, and, of course, their weapons are useless against it. And then they have, like, the captain goes into, like, this Tron computer thing to like ask questions, and it informs him, like the first time I think it told him that the monster would be weak towards fire, but then it ate the fire and spit it back out at them, and so they're all like in bandages, and every time they come back from a fight they're like all banged up, and Katsudo's trying to be nice to them, but they're being really mean to him. And so all that's going on. I think they figure out the monster eats gold and stuff, and the statue was gold at the beginning. But meanwhile, there's several instances where the evil alien takes human form, and he rolls up to the gas station in his SUV. Yeah. And I guess he suspects Katsudo is Zearth, so he like rubs oil on him, and he freaks out, and I guess that confirms his suspicion. So the second time he like rubs it on his face, and then the third time he shows up, and he's like super powered at this point. He like throws him around and stuff. But we also have a scene pretty early on of Ultraman Zearth, and he's just like in a canyon trying to shoot off his special, what do they call it, the Speciu Shula beam or whatever, his version of the specium ray, but he can't just let it shoots in the wrong direction and like bounces off the canyon walls and hits him, and then he gets dirt on his hand, and even as an Ultraman, like he's like trying to wash it off in a waterfall, and he's like
he can't even look at it.
He can't even look at it as he's washing his hands. Yeah, it's kind of funny. And then after that, like, we go quite a bit, most of the rest of the show without him in it, because I guess he's so crippled by his fear of dirt, like he can't even transform into Ultraman.
No, he can't.
And his little thing that he uses, like his little device that he uses to transform as like a battery-operated toothbrush. Yeah. And it's goofy, but it's kind of funny. And let's see, the bad guy, like, so Benzene shows up. He like turns into an alien, and he like, I guess his puppet monster Koten Pope or whatever they called it has been eating the gold. And then we have this scene that reminded. Do you remember the Rick and Morty episode where they had dragons and they were like bonding with the dragons? And it was super inappropriate. This scene really reminded me a lot of that, when he was like transferring the gold from his chest into Benzene's chest, and Benzene was like, seemed like he was really enjoying it.
Oh, good.
But so that happens, and now he's super powered up, and I don't know. I mean, it's only 50 minutes long, so it's not too long before we have some. We see, I think every member of the original Science Patrol makes a cameo appearance, and then there's a couple other cameos as well. We have like Fuji, I think, gets the most screen time. She has several scenes of like, she's the only one that sees their little ship coming out of their billboard or whatever.
Yeah.
So she keeps trying to convince people that it's there and getting a picture of it, but she never can. And we see Susumu Kurobe, I think is his name, the guy who played Shin Hayata. He like is a security guard at the Bank of Japan or whatever. This one of the guys is like a helicopter pilot news reporter thing, and the captain is like on a fishing boat towards the beginning of the show.
And then there's that one guy that's videoing the building that's plated in gold.
Oh yeah, Ide.
Ide.
Yeah, he's filming the He gained a lot of weight between this and 10 years later, or like what was it, like 8-9 years later when he was in Max.
Yeah.
But no judgment. Yeah, so we get all that kind of fun stuff. Anyway, so I guess they figure out that the alien is gonna try to trick Zearth into using his beam to like blow up the Earth somehow. So
Because there's gold in the center of the Earth that would self-destruct.
or something, yeah. And so, but the Mido team warns him, and he overcomes his fear of
Mud
or like dirt, or he doesn't really overcome it, but he like gets enough courage to transform into Ultraman because Toru, the female member of the team, she's being taken, and he has a crush on her. And she has like this flute that he loves to hear her play, and for some reason she always has a bunch of kids around her that's never explained, but whatever.
because it's like an Ultraman thing.
Yeah, it's like an Ultraman thing. But they get taken, and he goes, and like the Mido team is able to warn him about not using his beam. So then Benzeme tries to make him cross like a pool of mud to get to Coton Pope or whatever. Which he can fly, so it's so stupid. Like why doesn't he fly over?
Because it's a parody here.
Yeah, that's why. I mean, I know it is kind of funny, and he has to like wade into it, and then he starts to drown in it. But then I guess her playing the flute combined with the chance the children and his other team members
gave him enough courage to overcome his fear.
Yeah, and he comes out and he beats up the aliens and throws them into space and blows one of them up, and the other one floats off, I guess.
Yes.
And then they go back and he's still getting bullied by the other guys, but Toru's nice to him. And then credits roll, and like these movies always, we have a highlight reel of the movie, and then at the very end, like he's working on a car at the gas station, and a bit of oil squirts on his face. But no, it
was enjoyable.
Yeah, I mean, I'll say this: it's obviously a parody. I enjoy a lot of the jokes, like I've talked about, the fact that they work in a gas station, all the callbacks to the old Ultraman shows, like when Shin Hayata's Susumu Kurobe shows up and he like pulls out his flashlight, like his little capsule thing, and like his whole like fear of dirt is stupid, but it's funny.
Yeah,
it
was enjoyable.
It was fun. I mean, like I said, it's only 50 minutes, so it doesn't overstay its welcome. It's short. I will say, I mean, I do think there are a lot of more jokes they could have made. I mean, obviously, there's just so many tropes that they could have hit on that they don't really. And I think there could have been a lot more physical comedy, especially with the fights, because really this final fight, after they get over the whole mud thing, just pretty much turns into your typical Ultraman fight. It's not really like trying to be funny about it. But no, I mean, it's an enjoyable little 50 minutes. It's funny enough and entertaining enough. So, did you enjoy it?
Yeah, I enjoyed it quite a bit.
Do you think it was funny?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, you want to do some creature design real quick?
Why not?
Well, let's do Zearth. He is kind of goofy. He's got like this weird red mask thing. I mean, he's got like this red and, the normal color scheme, but then these big like yellow bug looking eyes. And I mean, and his little specium ray thing that shoots off in random directions until the end when he shoots it straight and blows up the monster.
Yeah.
He's I think appropriate for a parody.
Yes.
And then we have Coton Pope or whatever, which is a pretty traditional, I think, Ultraman monster, this dinosaur-looking thing with horns and spikes and everything of that nature. And then Alien Benzeme, which is also a pretty typical Ultraman thing, has these big red alien bug eyes and these little they almost look like little rattlesnake rattlers for hands. It's kind of weird looking.
And transform into a human.
He transforms into a human.
Mess with the team.
And he says, I love the way he says Ultraman Zearth. He says Ultraman Zearth, like a German or something. It's kind of funny. But, they're fine. We also have, we have effects. And I'll say the effects for a parody show, a made-for-TV parody movie made in Japan in the mid-90s. I think the effects are perfectly serviceable.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, they're obvious. The CGI is obviously not that good, but
It's a parody.
it's a parody. I think it serves its the effects serve their purpose, get their
Yeah.
point across well enough. So, I'm not going to ding it for that. And then the score, very much riffing what you would typically hear from an Ultraman. I mean, they straight up play the original Ultraman theme a couple of times. And then, of course, he has his own song, like every good Ultraman. A couple of times, it kind of sounds like Danny Elfman's Batman score. But, yeah, it's what you kind of expect from an Ultraman show.
Yeah.
So it's good enough.
It's good.
Yeah. You ready for some final thoughts?
Oh, sure.
All right, we'll go for it.
Well, this is a good movie. I like it. It's perfectly acceptable for a parody movie.
Yeah.
It's not that long. It's
Yeah.
not even feature length.
No.
But I like it. The effects are good enough. The acting is good enough.
Yeah.
Jokes. I like the jokes they make in it. His fear of dirt.
His fear of dirt, yeah.
That's pretty hilarious sometimes. And monsters look cool.
Yeah.
And I think I'm gonna give this, a C+.
A C+. All right. Yeah, I agree. I think, it's a quick, fun little parody movie. I think they, satirize and make fun of it, perfectly well. I mean, like I said, I think there are a lot of jokes that they missed out on. I mean, there's a sequel too. They might hit on them then. Because there's a lot of tropes and stuff that you could really hit on with these Ultraman movies. Of course, this is coming from the same production company and probably a lot of the same people that make the actual Ultraman shows, so they might not want to make fun of themselves too bad.
Probably not.
But no, I think the monsters, they all look like Ultraman monsters. The fight scenes play out like Ultraman fight scenes pretty typically. I think the whole running joke with the fear of dirt is pretty funny.
Yeah.
I think the villain, when he's in human form, is perfectly over the top. I think, all the Mido members are super, flamboyant and, extreme to the top. Like, the captain is always screaming at the top of his lungs, and there's this one guy that's very, flamboyant. And
Just like any good Ultraman show.
Yeah, like exaggerated versions of any good Ultraman show, but not exaggerated that much. But,
No?
But no, and then, I mean, they do a pretty good job of keeping me entertained for 50 minutes. So, yeah, I'm with you. I think I'm going to go to C+. But other than that, I guess we'll be bringing the sequel to you pretty soon. Ultraman Zearth 2, what was it called? Some big long title?
Some big long title.
Yeah.
Ultraman Zearth 2. Superhuman Big Battle. Light and Shadow.
Yeah, I think Zearth, what is it? It translates to, highest point or something, highest peak or something. It's just kind of funny. Because there's a joke, the bad guy says at one point in the movie, he's like, it must be the runt of the Ultraman family. Yeah. But I'm sure we will have talked about it in our Son of Kong episode that we haven't recorded yet, but will be published before this episode. But, we watched the teaser for that new Ultraman Trigger, new generation Tiga show or whatever. It's going to be the next Ultraman show coming out in July. Hopefully they'll simulcast that on YouTube like they did Ultraman Z, and we can watch it. Are you excited about that?
Yeah, it looks interesting.
Looks interesting for sure. What else we got Ultraman related? We're going to try to get, after Zearth, I think we're going to try to get to the Hanuman and the Ultra Brothers movie. We want to get to that and review it, which we've seen that before, but we're going to rewatch it and review it for better or worse.
Oh boy.
Oh boy, yeah, that's right. But other than that, I think that's really all we got for you this week. Don't forget, if you want to contact us, you can contact us at stompthisway1954@gmail.com. We're up on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook at StompThisWay. Andrew, do we have a website?
Yes, we do. And you can find it at www.stompthisway.podbean.com.
That's right. So, with all that being said, I think that's all we got for you. Again, we'll try to get that Ultraman Zearth 2 review out to you as soon as possible, hopefully next week. And other than that, as always, I'm Aaron.
I'm Andrew.
And we'll catch you in the next one.
してあげたいウルトラマンゼア勇気だったら持っているはずウルトラマンゼア君に会いたい気持ちがあるからウルトラマンゼア今すぐにそこへ行くよウルトラの力を信じて一生懸命シュワッチウルトラマンゼアなんで悲しいことばかり起こる地球になったんだ愛をもう一度信じたい今はいまいち弱いけどウルトラマンゼア元気だったらきっとあるはずウルトラマンゼアおじけついてちゃ明日なんかないウルトラマンゼア今すぐに走り出そうウルトラの力を信じて一生